as the stage is set, the thought of the day is so beautiful today. Healing through writing and expression. So, all of us are coaches, we are graphotherapists, and now, as if we are adding another feather in our cap, that is healing through writing. That is the power of graphotherapy. So, if I may ask you, how many of you have ever written an angry text message to someone who hurt you? Typed it all out with perfect clarity about exactly how you felt, and then deleted it without sending it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. But here's the interesting part. Don't worry, you've all been there. That even though you never sent that message, didn't you feel a little lighter after writing it? Now, that, my friends, is your first glimpse into something powerful, the healing magic of putting feeling into words. So, today we are going to explore how a simple pen and paper, or even your phone's notes app, can become one of the most effective therapists you'll ever meet. Let me share something that might sound familiar. Now, it's 2 a.m., you're lying in bed, and your mind is playing the same worry on repeat like a broken record. Maybe it's that argument with your parents about your career choice, or with your spouse over something that happened during the day, or the anxiety about tomorrow's presentation, or that complicated friendship that's been bothering you for weeks. So, in Indian families, we are often told to just think positive or don't overthink so much. But what if I told you that sometimes the solution isn't to stop thinking, but to start expressing? When emotions stay trapped inside, they are like pressure in a cooker without a whistle. They build up, create tension, and eventually something has to give. But creative expression, whether it's writing, drawing, singing, or even angry cooking, acts like that pressure release valve. And the beauty of creative expression is that it doesn't judge you. Your diary won't tell you to be practical, and your sketch pad won't compare you to your cousin. Your voice memos won't ask when you are getting married, and they just accept whatever you pour into them. So here's something interesting about our minds. We think we know we are feeling, but often we don't. It's like having a messy room. You know it's chaotic, but until you start organizing, you don't realize what's actually in there. And writing is like Marie Kondo for your emotions. It helps you sort through the mess and figure out what's actually worth keeping. So let me give you a real example. A friend was furious with her mother-in-law about constant criticism. Every family gathering ended in tears and frustration. But when she started journaling about it, something unexpected happened. Something unexpected unfolded. As she wrote, she realized her anger wasn't about the criticism. It was about feeling powerless and unsupported by her husband. The criticism was just the trigger, but the real issue was deeper. So once she could see the situation clearly on paper, she could address the actual problem instead of just reacting to the symptoms. And that's the power of expression. It transforms confusion into clarity. You don't have to be a poet or artist to benefit from this. Your writing can be messy. Your drawings can look like stick figures. Your poetry can rhyme love with dove. It doesn't matter. This isn't about creating masterpieces. It's about creating space for your inner world to breathe. And even sending voice messages to yourself, can be therapeutic. Sometimes hearing your own voice say, I'm scared about this job interview, or I'm proud of how I handled that situation, helps you process emotions in ways that just thinking never could. So now, before you dismiss this as just emotional stuff, let me share some hard signs that will impress even the most practical person in your family. Researchers have found that people who write about traumatic or stressful experiences for just 15-20 minutes a day for 3 to 5 days show remarkable improvements. See, therapy on your own self. We are talking about better immune function, lower blood pressure, reduced anxiety, improved sleep, and even better academic and work performance. One study followed engineering students, yes, engineers, during exam period. Half the group wrote about their exam fears and stress for just 10 minutes before their final exam. The other half didn't. Guess which group performed better? The writers scored significantly higher, not because they studied more, because they processed their anxiety instead of being paralyzed by it. But here's what's really fascinating, it's not just positive journaling that helps. Writing about negative emotions, anger, fear, disappointment, is often more beneficial than writing gratitude lists. So it's like your brain needs to acknowledge the darkness before it can fully appreciate the light. And the science suggests that when we translate emotional experiences into words, we are literally rewiring our brains. So we are moving from the reactive emotional centers to the more rational processing parts of our mind. So it's like upgrading from an old emotional operating system to a newer, more efficient one. Imagine, walking into a room that's been closed up for months. The air is stale, heavy, uncomfortable. You feel suffocated just being in there. But then you open a window. And suddenly, fresh air rushes in. The staleness dissipates, you can breathe freely, and the whole atmosphere transforms. And this is exactly what writing does for your emotional world. When feelings stay locked inside, they become stale and heavy. They take up space, make it hard to think clearly, and create an atmosphere of inner tension that affects everything you do. But when you open the window of expression, when you let those feelings flow onto paper or into whatever creative outlet calls to you, something magical happens. The stale emotional air gets released and fresh clarity rushes in to take its place. And writing isn't about solving your problems instantly. Nothing is like immediate. We are not creating instant noodles. It's about creating enough emotional space to see your problems clearly, which is often the first step towards actual solutions. And here's what I want you to do. And I promise you, it's going to surprise you with its simplicity and power. Tonight, or whenever you have 15 quiet minutes, grab a notebook, open a document on your phone, or even use the voice memo app. Choose something you've been carrying inside. It could be a worry, a hurt, an excitement you can't share, a dream you're afraid to voice, or even confusion about something you can't name. Set a timer for 15 minutes and just write. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or making sense. Don't censor yourself or judge what comes out because this isn't for anyone else. It's for you. Write like no one will ever read it because they won't unless you choose to share it. Write about what happened, how you felt, what you are afraid of, or what you are hoping for. Whatever wants to come out, just write it. If you get stuck, just write, I don't know what to write until something else emerges. And here's the most important part. After those 15 minutes, write one sentence of self compassion. Something like, I'm doing my best with the information I have. Or it's okay to feel confused right now. Or you can even write, I'm proud of myself for taking time to process this. And this isn't therapy, though it might feel therapeutic. This isn't art, though it might be beautiful to you. This is simple you creating a window in your inner world and allowing some fresh air in. So, in a culture, we are often taught, that strength means holding everything inside, that maturity means not expressing difficult emotions, that wisdom means having all the answers. But what if real strength is found in honest expression? What if maturity includes acknowledging when you don't have answers? And what if wisdom begins with creating space for your own voice? Your feelings are not weaknesses to be hidden, they're information to be processed. Your struggles are not failures to be ashamed of, they're human experiences to be witnessed and understood. Your creative expression is not a luxury for people with too much time, it's essential maintenance for your emotional well being. Every great song, every moving poem, every powerful story started with someone brave enough to put their inner world into outer expression. You don't need to create art that changed the world. You just need to create expression that changes you. So remember, you already have everything you need. You have experiences, feelings, thoughts, dreams. You have hands to write, a voice to speak, and a heart full of stories. The only thing standing between you and healing through expression is your willingness to open that window and let the fresh air in. Your feelings are waiting to be heard, not by others, but by you. Your story is waiting to be told, not to the world, but to yourself first. And your healing is waiting to begin. Not someday when you have more time, but today with just a pen and 15 minutes of courage. So start tonight. Start with one feeling, start with one window, and watch how the simple act of expression can transform not just how you feel, but how clearly you can see the path forward. The page is blank, the window is ready to open, and your voice is ready to be heard. The only question now is what wants to come out? So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.